Well, August the 12th, and moving north out of Palmer, took a few pictures of the countryside and the mountains. Stopped in Glenallen and got gassed up. They sure had a beautiful view there. That was a panorama I made. 58 degrees, clear. Beautiful countryside. There's a float plane in that picture off to the left of the lake next to those green trees. There's a closed up gas station. They closed up when gasoline was $1.45 a gallon. And most of these pictures were taken about 40, 50 miles north of Valdez. Coming up on Worthington Glacier. Yeah, this is about 30 miles north of Valdez. That was a nice part of the drive, those mountains. Of course, the nice part about it was the blue sky, beautiful blue sky, really nice. And I experimented with a few panoramas of the countryside on my way to Valdez. And this is the top of Keystone Canyon Falls. The next picture is the bottom of Keystone National Falls, or Canyon Fall. Yeah, Keystone Canyon Falls. Then I made a panorama of the two. It's the best I could do. And then off to the left, that's the mountainside off to the left, and a little ways down the road we run into Horsetail Falls. Wasn't too far away. 2 or 3 different views of Horsetail Falls. And I arrived in Valdez about 3 o'clock in the afternoon on August the 12th, and it was 73 degrees. That's a picture of the Civic Center, and right over the hill behind the Civic Center is the port of Valdez. And you see that lake in the foreground. The kids were playing in the lake. I don't know how cold that water was, but darn. And downtown Valdez has some beautiful views the right time of year. Museum. I never did go in the museum. And this is a advertising gimmick, I'm sure, under construction. That's some falls in the background of Valdez coming down the mountainside. This was where the post office stood in 1964, the day of the big earthquake that swallowed everything up. Gift shop. August 13th now. This is Clutina River at Copper Center, Alaska. 7:56 in the morning on the 13th. Closed up bar and cafe. Had a picture of the Wrangler Mountains back there. This place actually is in business. Coydern River Lodge. And then the sign says, "God bless the USA." That was at Burwash Landing in the Yukon. Historic Mile 1093, that's a Caterpillar tractor they used back in the 40s to build that highway. That was a big piece of equipment, I guess, in those days. Found a nice little cabin to move into, I'm sure. Haines Junction, Yukon Territory, noon August the 14th. And Dimmock Timber Company outside of Whitehorse. About 1 o'clock in the afternoon. This little trailer going into Whitehorse, it just looked like he must have been taken to the junkyard. It was a mess. It doesn't show that badly in the pictures, but it was a mess. And there's some more shots of Whitehorse on my way back from my big trip to Alaska. And that's the boat they have docked there in Whitehorse. Now we are at Rancheria Falls. Dougie and I went out here and took some pictures. It's just too big to get all in one picture. I tried a couple of panoramas. That was the right side. This is the left side. Two couldn't fit, so I got the left side in a panorama, and then off to the left of this picture is the next picture. I wish I could have all gotten it in one picture. It was really beautiful there. And got to 37 Junction and bought another tank of gas. I spent a lot of time buying gas, 37 at various and sundry places. And I'm on my way to Stewart. That's a burned up forest. There was a forest fire in there a few years ago, and this entire area went for miles and miles. That reminded me of Mount St. Helens. Shaped an awful lot like St. Helens. This is Jade Store, Jade Lake, or Lake Jade, whatever you want to call it. All cloudy again. And then arrived at Dee's Lake, and the doggy got out of the car, and I saw some more doggies across the highway coming our direction, and I thought, well, hey, this is the end of my dog. I guess I better get some pictures of him while I still have a chance. But turned out everybody got along okay. They were good buddies. Dougie came, hopped back in the car, and we took off down the road. I never did figure out what this Arctic Pacific crossroads, I couldn't find an explanation on the signs. But here's Highway 37 again, under construction. There's some dust on the road. Not an awful lot of rain has fallen to create the dust, but oh, the helicopter. Yeah, there was a restaurant just to the left of the helicopter. I went in there and had something to eat. And the next morning, I was at Eastman Creek. This is the 16th of August. Bob Quinn Lake and Airport. Some of you may know where that is. This is the road entering Stewart. About 11:13 a.m. My gasoline tank is a 60-liter tank, and the guy who filled the tank for me put in 60.190 liters. I think it cost me about $85 or something like that to fill the tank, but I was sure glad to get it. I was running on fumes. And I drove around Stewart, took some pictures. It was dark, dank, rainy, forbidding day. Not very many people on the streets. But driving out of Stewart, I came across a little glacier. Again, I wish the sun had been shining. Sure would have been nice. But there's a little glacier coming up. I stopped and took a few pictures. I was within 1/4 mile of the glacier, the end of the glacier. It ended down here in these bushes on the bottom. And that's the stream. A lot of it is fed by the glacier. I tried to make a panorama shot out of these two pictures here, but they wouldn't fit. So I like that red rock. I like that color there in that particular time. It didn't come out as well in the picture as I would have liked. And there's another glacier not too far beyond the previous one, dropping into that lake, melting into that lake. End of part 3. I hope you enjoyed it, folks.